Hey guys, so it's here bringing you another video. Now welcome to something, well, not different. This is the world's content. We've done one episode already. We're in, I think, the quarterfinals, but I'm doing it a little bit different than I've done before. So the last game I did, you guys did enjoy, but you said, you knew the result to the game. So maybe if you didn't know the result, that would be cool. So this is Edward Gaming versus Royal Never Give Up, two Chinese teams, and I'm watching it when it's live. So you can see there, it is live right now. So I am watching it as it happens. I'm not streaming. I actually took today off because I actually had a chronic headache, but thankfully it has subsided a bit. So what I'm going to do is give it a watch with you guys while it's live and commentate myself. And yeah, let me know if you guys like it, if you think it's any different. It's basically my own live commentary. So there's confirming it. It's patch 11.19, which obviously was a few patches ago. I think we just got 11.21. I'm going to have to move my camera here or there every now and then because we have to just like jump around where I can. So we're in pick ban. So Gragas banned, Lee Sin banned. Now I said last time, that's the one main area that I'm going to be weak in when it does come to watching Worlds, is I don't know these players. I don't follow Worlds. I don't follow pro play. So I don't know like why Gragas is getting banned. Maybe one of them is just really well known for Gragas in RNG. I don't know. So Lee Sin banned. Well, Lee Sin to me is a pretty common ban for a World's jungle game. Galio's also getting banned out. But I know the World's meta. Some people have liked it. Some people haven't. That's true with most metas, to be honest. I do know the big controversy. One of them, at least, has been that Yuumi has been made popular in Worlds, and people have kind of gone, "Oh my god!" And the pros are doing a very different build to what like a solo queue Yuumi should be doing. So pros are doing the AP build, where in like now solo queue, people are starting to do the AP build, which isn't a great idea. Twisted Fate banned. I do think I heard. I think they're scared of Scout's Twisted Fate, or he's known to be good at it, so they've banned that. There's the Yuumi ban, by the way. Not having it. Just get out of this game. That's kind of funny. But yeah, if you're in solo queue and you're playing Yuumi, you probably should not be doing the full AP build. That's only really working at pro level when you're like amazing. I'm not going to say amazing at Yuumi, but like when your comp works perfectly for it. So, yeah. LeBlanc being banned, one of my kind of recent pickups myself. I've been enjoying playing her, but the problem with that champion, if you don't get ahead, you don't snowball a bit, she can feel pretty useless. So now we're getting into the first picks. So obviously there's 3 bans each, and then you pick some champions, and then you ban some more champions. So both AD carries coming out, by the looks of it. So Lucian locked in for EDG, and Aphelios locked in for RNG. Now, I like Aphelios. He's a very arguably complicated champion design without being too complicated, if that makes sense. Like, he only has a couple of abilities, but he has 5 weapons, and all of those weapons synergize with other things, like, all synergize with each other, and that's what you've got to learn. Also, Rise, the mighty 44% win rate champion in solo queue, does show that win rate is irrelevant. These players are going to be picking the strongest champions you can in Worlds. There's millions of dollars on the line. You wouldn't be picking a weak champion in Worlds. So the fact that Rise has a 44% win rate in solo queue shows how little that matters. So Nami picked also, which is the classic Lucian Nami, which is like the meta Worlds bot lane. I think for the most part it's been Lucian versus Misfortune from what I know. Also Jarvan locked in for EDG, which is cool. Again, we're seeing all the win rates in that. A lot of these champions, if you've been looking at that data, a lot of these champs have negative win rates during Worlds, which is quite interesting. And this, again, this is a quarterfinal now. So 2 Chinese teams going up against each other. Generally, you don't want that when you're, in a country. You want as many as your teams to advance to the later stages as possible, but having 2 teams against each other in the quarterfinal means only one of them is going to continue in the tournament. Xin Zhao locked in, which very strong champion. Do remember this is 11.19, so this is no changes to Gore Drinker that we just had. So Gore Drinker Xin would still be very strong, for example. So there's that. We're now going to get more bans. So 3 champions picked each team. And we'll now get the 2 remaining bans. And then we'll get the 2 remaining champion picks. So far, to me, EDG has a much more basic team comp. very clean setup. It's got the Lucian Nami, very strong bot lane. It's got the Jarvan that is just generically good. He can engage, he can do damage, he can do a bunch of stuff. Like he buffs technically Lucian and other champions by giving attack speed from the flag. So a lot of that could go for that Lucian's power spike with the Nami buffs, who's arguably also going to be running Electrocute, because now the way that they change Nami, you can proc Electrocute through Nami E, I think it is, and that's why it works so well with Lucian, because you can proc with your W, and it's a bunch of free damage. That's why it's known to be a really strong combo. So Lulu's being banned, arguably a good ban there actually. So Lulu's not only good with Aphelios as a generically good support, she's also very good with Xin to keep him alive in the middle of a team fight. And then obviously the other bans being Graves, arguably I'd say Graves top lane has been banned for, and Zoe. Haven't seen too much Zoe, I will say. Again, maybe she's been picked in Worlds here or there, or maybe Scout also is known to be good. So, you know, when you look at these bans, by the way, look who's drawing the bans. I remember, like, Faker, and I know he still plays, like, back in his peak, he had, like, 3 or 4 bans used to him at a time. Well, RNG have used 3 of their bans for mid lane. Twisted Fate, LeBlanc, and Zoe, all for Scout. Where the opposition team, well, more for support. Like, they're using their bans on Ming. Arguably, I don't know if the Galio's been used that much in Worlds, but I doubt Galio's been much of a mid laner. I presume it's Galio support. So, and I don't even know where their Gragas ban is. If it's jungle, if it's support, I don't know. Nautilus locked in, though. I'll say I don't like that. With their comp, I don't think they need a Nautilus per se, but, you know, Nautilus is not bad. Are they actually picking... They're picking Mals in Worlds! Holy moly, dude. Okay. Not typically a pro pick is Mals. He's very, you know, the benefit of Mals is he's easy. You get a free lane phase. The negative of Mals is he's very set in his ways. You press R, you are vulnerable to the enemy team. Like, yes, you are locking somebody out, but you're also locking yourself out too. Jace, well, yes, Jace locked in. Nice. So Jace has a 44% win rate in Worlds this year. Pretty bad. And, oh... I'm not sure about that EDG team comp. I know what they're going for, but Aurelia. Oh, Jace is screwed. Jace is in trouble if that gets picked in. Oh, he has to play really well to avoid getting an Aurelia fed. Are they locking that in? Yes. I think they locked... No, you can see the blue bar at the top. They still... Oh, no, they've locked in. They have locked it in. Okay. So EDG's team comp, I would call a pick team comp. So it's all about getting picks. Jace Speedgate to get people there. Nami Bubble. Lucian Poke, like burst damage, really. Malzahar obviously just ult somebody, and Jarvan can pick and like CC people. It's a pick comp. Like pretty much as big as a pick comp as you can get. Where the other team comp, I'd say now, is a more balanced comp. They're not particularly like really impressive in any area, but I'd say it's just overall a more balanced comp where like it can probably team fight better than the pick comp. It still probably can make picks. It can probably siege quite well with an Aphelios. It's got really good protection. It's got high CC with Rise, Nautilus, even Aurelia stuns, Xin Zhao. So I by their comps, I'd give Royal Never Give Up game 1 by their comp. Unless EDG gets really ahead in lane phase and they can snowball with then the pick comp. And also that does need RNG to allow picks to happen. So people to misposition a little bit. One person to be alone when they, you know, where's the enemy team? 4 of them are missing and I'm alone. Oh, I get killed by 4 people. Where we're talking the World's quarterfinal here. So I personally wouldn't run, and I know like, Huz, you're a diamond player, you're not a Worlds. I know, I'm very aware. But I personally wouldn't run a pick comp in Worlds. Like, I just wouldn't. Especially the late, maybe the early stages of Worlds, sure. But not the late stages of Worlds. So I'm going to put my camera where I put it last time. Some people did make suggestions like you could put it in the Riot logo in the bottom left. But that would be a very small little camera. And I don't want to block any of the stats that you can see just right there. So I think where I am now, all I'll do, I'll make me a bit smaller. And there you go. Oh, I was actually blocking Nami, apparently. Whoops. Sorry, Nami. So there you go. That'll do. There we go. So, starting level 1. Anything crazy? Probably not, because level 1, there's no really big item choices that are going to be crazy. The only thing that I will say could potentially surprise me a bit, So Mal's has gone Unsealed Spellbook. I don't like that, but that's fine. I'm actually surprised he hasn't done the Futures Market build. This is Worlds. Worlds generically, you're in quarterfinals, you're not going to be playing crazy aggressive, you're also playing Mal's, and it's a Rise. He's not insane in the early game. Some Mal's go their Sapphire Crystal start, and then with Futures Market, you can base really quick and you can get a Lost Chapter. So I'm actually surprised he didn't do that. I would have actually maybe even done that myself this game. But let's see how it goes. So early pressure for comps. I mean, I have to give early pressure, arguably, yeah, I do, to EDG. So Infernal Dragon is the first dragon. I would be hard-pressed that if the EDG didn't get that, because they have Lucian Nami. It's arguably a free win in the early game. Like the first 5 minutes at least of laning, you are so dominant. And you know, look at the respect that RNG is already giving at level 1 to EDG. They are just not having it. They are just backing away. Don't even go close to it. You're just going to take way too much damage. And wow, gets a nice Q there too. Mal's starting Q level 1. You can do a bunch of stuff on Mal's. You can start E or Q. Q is arguably technically better if it doesn't get pushed really into your tower quick. And obviously we've got the standard ranged versus melee matchup top lane. So I've played Jace Aurelia. I played a lot of Jace a couple of years ago. Obviously, notoriously, he was one of the champions that helped me get Masters in Season 9. And yeah, that matchup is what I would call a ticking time bomb. That Aurelia is, you're thinking you're playing range versus melee, and, I can poke her down, she never can get on me. But Aurelia is sometimes the exception. That Aurelia's got so good engage, she's got good lockdown, her damage, obviously, as we all know, is crazy. This also would be pre-nerf Aurelia, I think, as well. Pre-nerf of Conqueror as well. So Jace has to really try to build a big lead here, and he has to try his best to poke her down, because the lower health the Aurelia is, the less confident she's going to be to go for a play. She's like, oh, I'm half health and Jace is full health. Well, it's going to be a bit close. I'm not going to go for that play. But if the Jace doesn't do a good job of poking her down, doesn't stop her, then Jace is really in trouble. Like, it could be the deciding factor to this game. Like, legit. That combining, when you're just talking about scaling alone, just take out 3 champions, like, compare them. Jace Aurelia, clearly, like, probably Aurelia wins that. And Aurelia isn't like late game, but Jace definitely isn't. Mid lane, Mal's versus Rise. Mal's does decent damage in late game, but is not a Rise. And also Lucian versus Aphelios. That is not even close in late game. Now, what is really bad, and I don't know how it's happened, look at the farm in bot lane. Somehow Lucian's losing really badly in farm. Now, I don't know if there's a massive wave and he just hasn't got a bunch of it yet, and he'll catch up by just cleaning it. Or has he missed a lot? Oh, there is quite a big wave. And they probably would not want to look for an engage here, to be honest, because they would be missing out a lot of farm. And that is where you need to catch that Lucian back up. And that is something that I shouldn't be saying. Catch a Lucian back up in farm. They should be having the pressure. They should be dominant in the lane to be ahead and letting the Aphelios catch up rather than the other way around. All right, so wave pushing in. Aurelia doing Aurelia things, wave clearing. Oh, Jace, no mana and big mini wave. Yeah, should not go for that, 100%. All right, going to clean that up. And again, Aurelia, look at the farm, holding her own. Yes, Jace will have a farm lead after killing all of that. You'll probably have about a wave farm, like 6 minions or so. But that's pretty good for Aurelia, to be honest. That 5 minutes to only be about 6 or so minions behind. I think most Aurelias would take that to a Jace. Did I actually get it perfectly? Is it 6? Oh my god, it's 6. What a prediction. It's not like I quickly kind of roughly counted in my head. So, Mal's going back for Boots of Lucidity. That's a bit weird. I mean, obviously the higher cooldown you've got. I don't know if I like that. And I do say, obviously, these players, it has to be said, are much better than me. But I'm going to commentate regardless, and I'm going to give my insight of me playing the champions that are in the game. I've played a lot of Mal's, I've played a lot of Jace. Oh, there's the dragon. Oh, no. No way EDG lets this happen. This is really bad for EDG. So we also spoke about, like, scaling. Obviously, what helps with scaling is Infernal Dragon that gives 4% AP and AD. That gives you scaling that you otherwise wouldn't have. And that's sometimes what a Lucian needs to get that little bit extra late game. That's really bad for EDG. Oh, Aphelios has to use Exhaust. Got caught. Oh, the bubble. Oh, wait. I also just noticed Nami didn't do Electrocute. Why wouldn't you do that? I'm going to be honest. That, I think, is personally a mistake. Everybody in this game watching it knows EDG will not win late game. Like, I just flat out will basically say they will not win late game. You have to win early and snowball. You're running Lucian, you running Nami, the free lane. You're not running the Electrocute to get that snowball capability. That's madness. Like, to me, they had to do that. They have to try and build that lead. And they're not. So Aphelios, again, he's winning in farm. Like, just straight up winning in farm. Which, again, it could be because the Nami hasn't gone Electrocute. So we've all spoken about it's a free win lane. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not when it's not Electrocute Nami. That's the extra damage that pushes it over to be really, really strong. Oh, are they looking for a roam on Aurelia? So it is warded, that try. Obviously, the roaming meta, I think, has still persisted in Worlds. But what I think I've heard, it's nice that it's not all assassins, obviously. This game is 2 mages. Mages have made a comeback. So worth also noting that Malzahar has got Ignite. Now he's got, obviously, Unsealed Spellbook. These players, obviously, some of the best players in the world, they'll be noticing what summoners the Malzahar swaps to. And just very basic. Oh, Malzahar has swapped to Ignite. They're going to want to make it a aggressive play while he's got that summoner spell. So you know to be a bit more careful, or if he's missing in lane or whatever it may be, oh my god, that Nami nearly died. This is really bad for EDG. Like, I don't know, again, as I've said, I don't know a big amount about, oh, Jace is in trouble. Okay, he might be okay. But that's already an Aurelia arguably winning a trade against a Jace, as she hasn't even got Gore Drinker yet. Oh, 2v2 maybe? Are they going to go for it? They are going to go for it. So remember, they do have the Ignite. So might be a small mistake for RNG. And they are going to back away. Jace just misses. And they're going to... Oh, snap! Nice! Jace gets the kill. That's good. Really good for him because he needs to get that lead. He also gets a red buff there. Honestly, I think Wei should have just kept running. I think he got killed because he was like, oh, Rise thingy. I can just kind of jump back into it. And Jace, like, flashed for the kill. Ooh, that's really bad. Oh, well, good for EDG. I suppose it's good or bad depending who you're supporting in this game, if anybody. Or you're just watching a good game of League like I am. And obviously, I will say, because I'm doing this live... Oh, no. It begins! Oh, no! He came back to lane. He didn't use flash, and he mispositioned. He also, by the way, if you notice in the top right, Aurelia summoner spells. Meanwhile, EDG looking aggressive. This is a time they can go for it. Nice no ult into an Aphelios ult, and that will back out the fight. Yeah, Aurelia didn't use flash for that kill. So she still has flash. Oh, I love Jace as a champion, but I feel for him this game. Oh, no. So, yeah, I was going to say, the risk of doing this game live is I don't know if this is going to be a good game of League. I have no idea. It could be a bad game of League. It could be a great game of League. I've got no idea. I don't know how long it's going to last. Nothing. So, the one thing with this engage I will say, but RNG, like I literally mentioned moments ago that, oh, you know, the Malz, you can see the Ignite is on the Xin right now. You know the Malz has got Ignite. Meanwhile, that gets blocked by Zinult. He should have kept running! Oh, it was! He could have lived! Oh, God. Yeah, what was I going to say? I can't remember. I've gone blank. Sorry. Again, that's also going to happen when you're commentating. Half of the skill of commentating is remembering what the hell you just said. Oh, I remember. Yeah, the Ignite. So they knew he had Ignite on Malzahar. They knew they'd be looking for an aggressive play, and you don't have Ignite on Rise, so you can't match that Ignite. So maybe it was a bit of a mistake for RNG to even go for that play, potentially. But gold lead is very even. 100 gold in it right now. No towers obviously taken yet. 1 kill apiece, but that Infernal Dragon advantage so far for RNG. Farming-wise, Aurelia has taken the lead in top lane. She's also now completed Gore Drinker already. And yeah, bot lane's even. Mid lane advantage for Rise, which is also not really what you want. And they are looking for a roam on the Aurelia. So a 3 top roam. So yeah, as we said, the world's meta, I think, is still a roaming meta. Ooh. She's got W. Q, 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 Q. Oh my god, she got a kill! Oh my god. Okay, so Aurelia gets a kill for help with the tower, to be honest, and Gordrinker healing. She survived way longer than she should. And the only negative of watching Worlds is, like, in a way, that was insane. Aurelia should never have gotten a kill in that moment. She should never have survived as much as she did because of Gordrinker, etc. But with the patch that we're now playing on as players, that wouldn't have happened. It's been nerfed. It has already been nerfed. But Worlds, they have to lock into a patch. So it's on patch 11.19, which is it's like a month ago, basically, the patch. The reason why they do that is because it's very hard for the teams to adjust and plan with comps and everything if they change the balance of everything mid-Worlds. So they always just go, right, this is the Worlds patch. Everybody, this is what you're going to get for Worlds. So if something's broken at the beginning of Worlds, it's then broken for Worlds. Like, that's the point. I don't know if there's any... And look at she's nearly dead. There's the Gordrinker / healing. She gets a bit of damage, etc. And the Jarvan just dies. Like, whew, obviously, again, help with a tower, but that Gordrinker / damage and healing was mad. Whew. All right. Anything worth knowing... So, it is worth knowing the Lucian on EDG, by the way, is running Cleanse. I think, I could be wrong, but if Nautilus ult is following you and you cleanse, I think it stops following you. I think. So that might be why. Obviously goes without saying, why is no one running Cleanse? They have a Malzahar. Cleanse does not counter Malzahar, so that's why no one on RNG is running Cleanse. The only thing that gets rid of it, I think, is, well, QSS, Quicksilver Sash, and then the upgraded version of that to Mikhail Scimitar. But then also, no, Mikhail's Blessing, is it? And then Scimitar. I think Mikhail's Blessing, whatever the item's called, I think that also gets rid of it. But that requires, a support to use it on an AD carry. I believe that will also get rid of it too. So Jace has opted for the Eclipse version of the build. He's also running the tier, which is 100% what he needs. He needs to do the scaling build, which is the Mirror Mana approach, and that's what he's doing. I'm not sure EDG thinks there's 4 people here, but alas, there is 3 people for EDG, 4 people for RNG, including the bot lane. So the bot lane of RNG at 13 minutes is top lane. But again, maybe not too surprising because they have killed the bot lane tower. So that's fine. Like, that makes sense. You rotate. This is a very old school way to play League of whichever bot lane wins, which again, by the way, it's a bit weird that a Felios lane obviously technically got the tower first over a Lucian lane. But you get the tower and then you make your bot lane go into the opposite side and then you make them get that tower. A lot of league games have always been give the AD carry the most gold possible, and the most gold possible when you're not having a crazy high kill game is tower gold, free farm, tower gold and free farm. So you go bot lane, you get free farm, you get the tower there, you then go do it in top lane, and then you get the top laner just to go bot. Pretty much. That has been what the meta has been a long time in League. And, yeah. So Jarvan doesn't want to give up the Scuttle Crab, apparently. I think he should. I don't think he should risk a death over a Scuttle. And he is going to back out there, and the Xin will take it. You did see, by the way, in that fight, the Jarvan was already level 9, and the Xin, from taking that Scuttle, just hit level 9. Enemy bot lane are around, so RNG should be a little bit careful here. But, yeah, so we're 15, basically, minutes into the game. It's a 1.5, nearly 2,000 gold lead for RNG. I said earlier, to me, this game, I don't want to say it's already over. 2 dragon lead also, but I also would probably say this game is nearly already over. Because, for me, left team EDG, as we mentioned, is a pick comp that also falls off in comparison to RNG. And they haven't done anything yet, EDG. They've got the matching kills, sure, but they haven't even tried to do dragons, unless they're going to try and do what we saw in the first game that I think Cloud9 did, was it? That, oh, we're going to give up the first 2 dragons, and then we're going to get the next 4 to get the stronger version of the Dragon Soul, the 4 buff Dragon Soul. Maybe they'll try to do that, we'll see, but I don't even know if they can. So, EDG being a bit aggressive, Nautilus flashing. Xenault with the Jarvan also on top, and they are in trouble. So TP's all coming in. Ryze altered in also. Aurelia's not in the fight. Jace can't go in. He has to poke from the side. Mal's also not there yet. So that is just a 1-kill pick for RNG, who isn't the pick comp. But as I mentioned, their comp isn't really anything. Like, they're not a team fight comp. Nice damage. They're not a team fight comp. They're not a pick comp. They're just a comp. They're a comp full of strong champions that kind of complement each other here or there with CC. Like, that's what they've got. They've just got a... I'd call RNG's comp pretty standard. Like, it's not a specialist comp. Where EDG's comp, I would say, is a specialist pick comp. And it's not doing it so far. So that Xenault just avoided dying, basically, from the Lucian damage. Ryze TP'd in, doing a lot of side damage, also stopping Viper on Lucian getting into the fight properly, which is a good idea. And now Dragon is up. So this is going to be a big test. Oh, they're going for a pick on a Nautilus. So yes, they get a kill. They use Mal's ult for a Nautilus, which a pick is a pick, but... if they die here, look at that Xin damage of Gore Drinker. That's my point. Look, they're all dead. They use a big pick tool. Like I mentioned, you're literally seeing, oh, they just, any pick that they could see, they went for, because that's what their comp is. But the unfortunate thing, the one thing that they got caught out is a Nautilus. It's not the Aphelios. It's not the Ryze. It's not the Aurelia. It's a Nautilus. It's, you know, yes, a kill is a good thing, but then you're having a fight straight after. You've used a big pick tool. You got to back out, and they didn't. They got caught, they died, and there you go. So 3 dragons for RNG, and to be honest, the fact that the EDG was near the dragon, and they were looking for a pick near the dragon before it, it does make me think maybe their strategy was the idea of giving the first 2 dragons, or that's maybe not what the initial strategy was, because I don't think they wouldn't want to give Infernal away. So yeah, literally, as I've said, if you didn't believe that they were a pick comp, hopefully you do now. It's literally what they are. But... I don't think they would wanted to give the dragons up in the early game, but because they have, I think they're like, right, let's get the next 4, and that's plan's gone. So really nice play, honestly, by RNG. Yeah, it was good confidence. Oh, we've lost a Nautilus, but we can still win this fight. It's really good confidence shown, and obviously the support staff there for... I think that's RNG's, which, yeah, you're going to be really happy, obviously. That's nice. What starts with a bit of like a oof, ends with a pretty good thing. So 2,700 damage for Ryze, starting to take over the damage charts, and 500 damage for Lucian versus the Aphelios is over 1,000. So you're probably already starting to see the... well, it might not be so a slow like scaling thing. We might rapidly see RNG start winning this game. You know, we've got 3.5 minutes till the next dragon. If RNG get that, they get Dragon Soul, and it's a, you know, the regen Dragon Soul, it's Ocean. You get 2.5 health regen per stack or whatever it is, so they would have 5 health regen. Then they'd also have the Dragon Soul. It would be very hard pressed for RNG with a better scaling team comp and 4 dragons versus 0 and the Dragon Soul. Yeah, I don't see them losing this game. The only way that I see EDG winning this game is, yeah, they have to get a solid pick, and that solid pick has to translate into momentum, and that momentum has to turn into something that they can't, like, RNG can't recover from. So they get a pick on somebody, they get Baron, then they go down mid lane, get 2 towers. That's a lot of gold. That would get you back into the game. But only so much. Like, again, if that would get you back into the game, but you'd have to continuously apply that pressure, because eventually... you are gonna, they will catch up. If you get to 50 minutes into this game, everybody's got 6 item builds. RNG's is just a stronger comp. Just not even by their comp, it's just stronger champions at 6 items. So we'll see what EDG do. Like, you'd hope that they wouldn't just try to play this game standard in a way, because I think they're just gonna lose. They've got to come up with something they've got to come up with something to do something, basically, because otherwise they're just going to keep slowly losing this game, I think. So we'll see. Alright, so J spot lane. Could be getting caught. Nautilus to press R. Just press R. There he goes. He's pressed the R button. That's all you got to do. And into the wombo damage, and the pick comp gets picked. So nice kill for Ryze. 203. Everfrost, obviously, the extra level of CC. With, obviously, Nautilus is pressing R. That in itself, that's what I mentioned, you know. RNG isn't a pick comp, but they have features of pick, like that. They have a Nautilus that can just do that. It's a pick. They have Ryze, they've got the CC for it, but they're not a pick comp. They're not only suitable for that. They're actually pretty good at teamfight too, here or there, because if you have a Felios with his flamethrower weapon, he'll kill everybody. They have Rise that has AoE as well. So that's my point, is RNG's comp just seems a little bit more well-rounded and not just specialist into one field, which overall I think is just the smarter way to go in Worlds. I wouldn't go with a specialist comp per se in Worlds because you're limiting what you can do. Because, again, EDG, they're limited to, well, we need to try and surprise one of them and kill one of them if we can. But if RNG just kind of go, right, let's group, or, group as 5 from now on, well, none of them is getting picked. And you kind of get rid of the specialist off EDG's comp. Obviously, I doubt we're going to see just RNG grouping as 5, I will say. In pro play, that doesn't really happen. You have Aurelia that is going to just be dominant side laning. You want her to be side laning. You just have to be careful when she is side laning. So you're seeing EDG is looking for something. They are on a ward, so they do spot that out. And now look at Aurelia. So there's 5 people mid, EDG, because they know Jace cannot deal with Aurelia anymore. And RNG should just respect that they're outnumbered. Yes, they have TP on Aurelia, by the way, and Dragon is coming up. So that is why the grouping has happened. They're using Rift Herald mid lane. That's actually really smart. So they're going to apply the pressure in mid. Aurelia's going to go back. She's going to go by, and then she's going to teleport over. Lucian ult used very early in that fight, and Rift Herald's going to do its thing. Probably, I don't know if it's going to kill that. We'll see. But here we go. So this is going to be a big thing if whoever wins this, well, if RNG just wins this game, basically. If they kill this dragon, it's probably over. They're going for it, though. Jarvan engages. Aurelia counter-engages. Does get Mal's ulted. Is then getting more CC'd with Bubble. She's still not dead. She dies finally. And Xin gets the dragon. Oh, that's disastrous for EDG. The fight is now going for it. Lucian cleanses the exhaust. And what EDG need to do, they need to take this fight. They have to. They have to take the fight. They have to kill them. And they probably have to try and go do Baron. That's the only way they're probably going to come back into this game now. Oh, good snipe. They can try Baron. They might have to try Baron. They have to. Because they don't have a way to get back into this game. The problem that they've got is it's Rise now. It's Rise who's back to full health because of Ocean Dragon Soul. Rise, if he plays this really well, could probably kill them. Here he has to poke. Go Rise. Miles is back on his way. He's not letting them do it. 1v4. Rise is literally Gandalf right now against the Balrog. You shall not pass, or you shall not do Baron. Oh, that's really bad for EDG. Ugh, you hate to see it in a way. So it was a good lockdown on Aurelia, and that's how, they're using a lot of stuff on that Aurelia CC, and that's how valuable they're deeming. We need to stop this Aurelia, because she will just straight up kill 2-3 of them if you don't CC her. So she will go down. Xin goes down eventually, but he does the amazing thing of getting that dragon, and Aphelios gets a kill there. Nice cleanse by the Lucian to get rid of the exhaust straight away, and you can see the Jace damage is actually doing okay. He's doing some decent damage, big pokes of his EQs. But it's not a crazy amount. And this was the big kill here that Jace gets in a second. It's bam and bam. That was a really nice one. So bad death, arguably, for Aphelios, but really good aiming for the Jace. So well played to him. But unfortunately not enough. Randuin's, by the way, purchased for Aurelia. It's a bit of a weird purchase. I would actually deem that's probably been purchased, well, more for the raw stats. Like, Lucian, yes, has built some crit, but I don't think you're going to be itemizing. Like, the Aurelia will be going after the Lucian, but I think Aurelia could just buy just straight up more damagey stuff or like bruiser stuff, and she might be okay. But again, it's Worlds, so sometimes I've got to take my mentality out of solo queue and put it in Worlds, and I guess for Worlds you're playing a bit safer. So Randuin is bad. This is aggressive. Hello there, double bubble. Aurelia 1v2. Lucian's dead. Wow, really bad mispositioning by that Lucian. And that could now be Baron for RNG. They're going to regen all the way up to the Baron. You can literally see that Zin's health bar just moving up. That's really bad. I do think the Jace, by the way, has got that grudge item, Cerebral's Grudge or whatever it's called. Really good item. I like that item. Really good on Jace, AD poke champions, or AD champions that just need to stay on people. And well, the only way EDG wins this now is if they steal a Baron. And what RNG have decided, smartly, arguably, is, well, let's just fight them. We're stronger than them right now. Why would we risk a smite steal? So they can do the Baron, and then you go send, like, the Rise and the Aurelia to go deal with the Jarvan. Really smart decision making there. Bad, arguably, death for the Nautilus. Maybe he didn't need to die fully, but it's definitely worth trading a Nautilus for a Jace, obviously. It's a top laner for a support. So Jarvan will survive, which is a good survival. You know, arguably, most of us probably would have expected he was going to die, being the wrong side of the map, but he survives, which is good. And yeah, so 4 dragons, Baron, Rift Heralds, I think mainly also went for RNG. I think maybe both of them did. I think it might have been used bot lane. That's why the tower got killed in the early game. And yeah, really bad positioning. So you have 3 people in mid together for EDG. Why were those 2 off the side by themselves? I really don't know. And Ming on Nautilus just decides, right, let's go for it. He presses R on the Jace, which is the opening engage. He then gets the follow-up Q. He goes down, but it's definitely worth the trade, obviously. And yeah, very clean play. Very nice. So unfortunately for EDG, they are very much on the back foot of this game and have been pretty much for most of the game. You know, from the beginning where Lucian Nami wasn't really winning lane, or Jace, like, that's when you're going to have probably a bit of a rough game. And obviously, you got a farm in the game, very high. Lucian has taken a bit of a farm lead over the Aphelios, but doesn't matter too much when you're over 200 farm at 27 minutes. You're probably doing quite well, to be honest, with items and gold, etc. And by the way, Aurelia has now just purchased a QSS. So the lockdown of Aurelia with Mal's ult can no longer happen. So that's also a negative of Mal's. You can itemize against his whole thing. His whole thing is pressing R on somebody, pretty much. And you can just go, nope, lol, I just bought a 1300 gold item. And you can word it in a way that it's like, oh, it's 1300 gold item as like a tax, true. But it also kind of counts as a champion. So, yeah. So they're breaking open the base, about to be open. Don't know where Viper's going. Maybe he has a big power item he's about to buy, because for him not to be defending that is a bit weird. And they're going to go for the inhib. So the minion's doing damage to it. Aphelios doing damage to it. Lucian ulting. Gets cancelled. And by the way, Rise, you'll notice, has not been here. Really nice zoom angle, actually, by Riot here. 3,500 in the top right gold that you're seeing that they have gained as an advantage from the Baron. Nearly 4,000 gold now. That's, yeah, it's over 4,000 gold. And EDG, they might have looked for an engage there, but they're going to get stopped. And that'll be that. So open base in mid and bot, with also a completed dead inhibitor in bot lane 2. So I'm pretty sure this game, well, whoa, is it an Elder Dragon play? Oh my god, they have to go for it. They just have to. Well, if they don't go for it straight away and kill it, which I don't think they don't have the confidence. If they knew the enemy team had all based and they just really rushed it and hoped for the best, that may have been their best chance to win the game. But they didn't know. So they didn't know that they basically were alone. And now the engage happens. Malzahar gets caught out. Aurelia coming over the, getting into the fight. Rise is now around. With then the flash with the big damage. And ladies and gentlemen, that is GG. So this was a very dominant performance from RNG. And I pretty much called it from the beginning. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to say that, just general skill won this game. It wasn't. I think EDG's comp was just really bad. Like, they're playing a pick comp in Worlds. They're playing a comp that falls off in Worlds. And they didn't be aggressive in the early game, like, at all. They played very passive in the early game for a comp they had to snowball and win the early game. They just played it all wrong. But anyway, that is going to be it. That was the live game that I'm watching. I'm just going to record that one and just see what you guys think of the live format. Obviously, I can't stream it while I'm doing it, but I can record it and then upload it in a few days. If you guys want me to do this for the next few games of Worlds, do throw a like on the video and I may do that. Maybe for the final or semi-finals, we could do it as well. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.
Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal.